Dhamma is hope. I think it's important to set a proper context about Dhamma. It's important for proper context about Dhamma. Now, let me ask you, I have a lot of audience engagement. I have a lot of audience engagement. So the ones who have attended my classes and talks before, you know I will get you to do a bit of shoulder exercise. So now I ask you, when you see this word, hope, what comes to mind? Do you like the word hope? Ambivalent. No, I'm serious. Be a bit more relaxed. This is Dhamma class, informal a bit. We enjoy ourselves, talk to each other. Don't be so serious. Be serious tomorrow. Today, no serious. Okay? Today, let the child in you, let the curious person in you come out and play with others. So now I ask you, when you see the word hope, what spring to mind? Wish, okay? Wish, wish. I didn't, okay, wish. Wishing, fair enough. Anything else? The rest of you don't know the 4-letter word. Never seen before. Ubo, cannot. Happiness. Who say? I like you leh. Next time you say more, okay? What else? May get, may not get. Fair enough. Wow, you're so practical, so balanced. Anything else? No, I want you to think about the word. Because why in the world would we introduce a title like this? Why? I mean, like, Dhamma is hope, meh? How come I don't feel? Do you feel it like this? Or do you not feel it like this? Have you ever felt, okay, who said, I have always believed that Dhamma is hope? Allah. No, I like the optimism. Then the rest of you, I assume you fall into the category of, I don't know leh. Or the category of, I don't know what the question is about. Or the category is, I don't agree with you. Agree? Meaning you all fall into that category, or you want to change your vote. So shy you are. Okay, let me tell you a little story. How many of you have read my book, Between the Lines? The ones who never read the book already saw that it's hope, I'm going to tell you a little story. So today, it's a bit of storytelling. Can you see the words? Okay. Are you familiar with the name Yasa Supaka Patachara Kisagutami? Are you familiar with the words? Any of you not familiar with the words, the name? Oh, sweet, say thank you. I will only tell story when people say, I don't know what you're talking about. Tell story. Okay, I'll tell story. Yasa. What was Yasa? A multi-million-dollar man's son. The father was a businessman. And Yasa, in fact, Yasa's story was very similar to Buddha's story, right? He got very agitated in lay life. One fine morning, he decided he had enough. Couldn't take it, won't take it. He has fear and a sense of danger, and he's very agitated. And he ran away from house. Multi-millionaire son, so he must run very far out of his estate. And he ran away. And as he wandered around in the park, he was going, I'm vexed, I'm scared, I'm agitated. He was very agitated. And therefore, he was distraught. He was stressed. Put it mildly, he was stressed. Can you imagine his state of mind at that moment? The poor guy was stressed, was agitated. He felt hopeless. He felt helpless. And as he wandered around, being actually he was saying aloud, voicing his despair, Buddha was sitting down there. And the Buddha said to him, yes sir, yes sir. Buddha knew his name, huh? Yes sir, come sit here. Over here, there is no fear, there is no danger. So what did Buddha give him? Hope. The story of the Dhamma in the first teaching to a lay person. You must remember that Yasa was a layman who knew nothing about the Buddha, who was not a Buddhist, who was not a practitioner, who knew nothing. And he came across the Buddha, and Buddha's first encounter with a lay person when he started his class was to give the layman hope. Now, if the story had just ended with Yasa, then like that lor, 很好听啊，很好听, but like that lor. But no, subsequently, Yasa's father, only son, so he was also very distraught, his son ran away, came charging out looking for him. And the same thing, he was calling out, looking for his son, feeling very helpless, feeling very, very sad. And Buddha called out to him, Yasa father, come. Of course, I'm sure he called by a different name, but we didn't have that name, right? Come, sit here. And the old man said, I'm looking for my son. And the Buddha said, I know. When can I see my son? And Buddha said, don't worry. I will bring you to your son after this. So old man was happy. Again, hope. And then Yasa's wife, Yasa's mother, the whole family, the whole Yasa family, and Yasa and the 54 friends. And the rest is history. A whole bunch of lay people came along, sat with him, listened to the Dhamma, and on that day, as they listened to the Dhamma, they found for themselves what I said here. Oh, I didn't say it here. Oh, never mind. This happens. They found for themselves hope and salvation, refuge, relief, joy, immeasurable joy at the end of the encounter with the Buddha. Now, some of you may say, Jalat, no more Buddha. Separate story. The point is, it wasn't Buddha that gave them joy and relief. It was the Dhamma that gave them joy and relief. It was only after he taught them the Dhamma, and then they exploded in joy. And that was what we're going to talk about afterwards. Okay? In the meantime, you still want to hear stories? Still want to hear stories? You do know that that's not the punchline, right? So Parker's story, a 7-year-old boy abandoned by his stepfather on a graveyard in a cemetery. Basically, he had a little fight with his stepbrother, and the stepfather decided he has to be punished. He's such a nuisance, let's just get rid of him. So tie him up and dump him in the cemetery. Meaning, bye-bye. Okay? And of course, the poor boy, 7-year-old, he was in a lot of pain, a lot of fear. He cried terribly. The Buddha went to retrieve him, okay? Took him out, brushed him off, taught him the Dhamma, and he became, I think he's an Arahant. So the first 7-year-old Arahant. Don't say you too old or you too young. They'll just see the little ones know up. It's just a little boy. Ended up in the wrong place, wrong time, and in the garbage heap. Okay, Patachara, lady, lost her family in one night of natural disaster. Flood killed the husband, killed the children, killed her parents. House collapsed, landed on the parents, killed everyone. She lost her entire family one night. She went crazy. And then started wandering around. She went so crazy, she tore off her clothes. And by the time she stumbled into the vicinity of the Buddha, her mind was completely shattered. So the third story here is the case of someone who was literally insane. And the Buddha said to her, because she was stumbling around, the Buddha said to her, Bhattacharya, wake up. And she got up. Her mind cleared. Now, of course, we can't do that. But the point is, this is a person who has suffered a fate not different from the rest of us. We have lost families, loved ones, friends, and so on to death. Likewise, for the last one, Kisa Gotami lost her only son, i.e. lost her standing in the family. In ancient India, you have a son, you have standing, gravitas. You have no son, you take number at the back of the cow. So for this poor lady who lost a son, she basically wanted Buddha to resurrect that son, the boy. And the Buddha said, okay, go, I can help you, he said. So he gave her hope. And he said, you go to a house, get for me mustard seed from a house, from a household where no death had happened. And as she went around looking for the mustard seed, everybody was prepared to help until they hear the word where no death had happened. Then they say, oh, sorry, can't. The search for her, that process of searching, looking, was actually what gave her time to calm the mind down. And because of that, she realized death is imminent. Death is everywhere. Put aside the boy, the body, bow before the Buddha, entered the order. So these are stories of people in extreme circumstances. They were literally at the end of the road for them. And they had that one encounter with him, and he gave them peace. What these people had experienced really is not very different from what we are experiencing and what we are seeking salvation for. They went to him asking for a quick fix. Bring my son back, bring my family back, give me back my boy, that kind of thing. And he gave them the Dhamma. The significance of the Dhamma, therefore, what you have to understand is that the Dhamma, the intent of the Dhamma, the intent is to help people recover balance. Balance, emotional, mental balance. The Dhamma is a method of training that help individual regain mental balance. I always use this word. It is a way of restoring mental health. You don't need magic, but you need knowledge, understanding, and discipline. You don't need magic. Magic is a temporary fix. Even if I snap the boy alive, even if I do that, he still must die. One day the boy must still die. I can fix whatever problems. You know, you go for, I run out of money, I need money. You can go borrow from bank, cannot. I already borrow a lot. Yeah? You can have all these kind of issues. But really, as long as you are alive, as long as you're living, how is it supposed to fix? There will always be problems coming our way. You know, I must learn not to run so fast. They're all here, okay? Now, if you are able to understand the Dhamma properly and use the method of training to restore for yourself mental health, mental equilibrium, if you can do that for yourself, then whatever happens out there, it's just out there. This mind can handle it. Okay? Now the question, this is, I want to say this, I put a special slide for this, because I want us all to be aware of this. You see, for centuries and centuries, if you look across culture and you look across countries, space, people, ethnic tribes, you name it, everywhere, you look across men's history, and what you will discover is that men typically look outward for help. A higher being, magic, power, chanting, amulet. Men will look outwards for help. The Buddha, 2,500 years ago, 2,500 years ago, what did the Buddha do? The Buddha said, the fixing must come from within. The fixing, the restoration, the repair work must come from within. And his method of training is unique. Has not been, well, he has established it, and since his time, others have taken parts of it to recreate the effects. Others have done it. It's not that they have not, but his is a full method of training. It's a methodology. It's a system of training, and it's very systematic. If you were to pluck pieces from it, it's like tearing leaves off the branch. You're tearing it off, you take it, and you incorporate. It wouldn't work. It must come as the tree. You hope to replicate the leaves, you pluck the leaves, you bring it home, they will die. It doesn't work like that. You need the tree. You need the entire teaching together for it to work. And Buddha himself, in his time, in his time he said this. Since then we see this. The teaching as a methodology of training is unique to his discipline. And as long as they are conscious being, experiencing dukkha in the normal way, the teaching will be relevant. In the normal way, the teaching will be relevant. Okay? And in the Buddha's time, I'm not sure if you all know this, but scores of men, scores of young men, I always call it the young and the brightest. The young and the brightest, yeah. I forgot how I say it. Scores of people join him, either as lay supporters just to listen to his talk, or literally went into monastic life to practice. This is very significant. You see, think of it like in your own society, a form of teaching comes about, people are so inspired, they are prepared to say, you know what, I need to know this for myself, I have to see the entire teaching for myself, so let me put aside my own life and I go check it out. This is what happened. And in fact, we know this because it's complained in the canon, that so many people join his order in the city, in the kingdom of Magadha, in the city of Rajagaha. So many join that people complain. They said, you know, this thing, this order is depleting us of young men. How are the women going to get married? You know, as always, woman getting married is very important because without marriage, no people to hold the lineage on. So in his time, a lot of people joined to the point that the complaint were raised and captured in the canon. Okay? If it were not captured in the canon, we cannot say this, we cannot imagine this. But it was captured in the canon, which means it must be significant. I mean, if you are writing your own history, right, would you write things that say people complain about us? No, ma, you will say we were so good and I got all this like on the Facebook, right? You won't say, oh yeah, well, you know, a lot of people complain. You won't say that. Okay. Now, this is about you. You're all human here, right? Human? Anybody doesn't belong? Nah, anyone here not one of us? 没有啦, sorry, 你们不 count. Okay, seriously. Let me ask you, what caused you to feel hopeless, helpless, and afraid? Huh? Death, okay? What else? I said two things leh. I like so clever, right? You say, 我的跟他的不一样嘞，我怕 cockroach, 我怕 lizard. Then some people say, 什么都不怕，我怕蛇. How come only two things? Very good. What else? Say, hello lah, 青菜. Huh? Sickness, okay. What else? Two things. Must cover everything one. Two things must cover everything. Huh? Ego. Actually, very good. Some more. See some more. Uncertainties. Yes. Now I give you answer, okay? My answer. Not that yours is wrong, but I like these two better. Okay? Then you go, 不是, I will explain, okay? Now I explain, ignorance and delusion. What do we understand by the word ignorance? No knowledge. A lack of knowledge. Death, sickness are scary. Why? Can you overcome death? Do you have knowledge how to overcome death? Do you have knowledge how to revive the dead? You don't. It's scary because you don't understand it. Okay? For the longest time, what frightened people, what men and women were afraid of was natural calamities. The volcanoes, the flood. They cannot anticipate the weather. And a lot of people died throughout history in many parts of the world, in many lands. Many people died because of natural disasters. So for the longest time, man was afraid of nature. That is why in polytheistic community, they have a lot of gods about nature. Fire god, water god, sea god. Well, we all got sea god. The Greek had it, the Roman had it, we also have it. Right? Do the Indians have it? Not sure. But I know the Chinese have it. Huh? In fact, the Chinese have various types. Some of the gods give birth to children. So got dragon princes, right? Look, isn't it? That means that what man does not understand, what man has no knowledge about, he cannot understand, he cannot control. He cannot control, he's afraid of it. Agree? You modern man, right? You're modern man, right? You understand weather. You have someone's job to tell you what's the weather. Yeah? I dare not pronounce the word because so many syllables I should get it wrong. NEA. Yeah, NEA. So I ask you, what is it that you have no knowledge of? I said, no knowledge, ignorance is what causes you fear, right? And then I ask you, because we're also clever, ma. We all got science class, got history class, got physics class. We're so educated. We know so many things, right? We're modern men. So you're modern man. What do you have no knowledge about? Got answer? The most obvious, sickness and death. That is why we are all afraid of the proclamation, the diagnosis, you have 6 months. It can have a bit more, no? 6.5 months. It's like that. You are afraid because you don't know what you're dealing with. The less knowledge you have, the more frightened you will be. that is why, even more in recent time, there is all this talk about cybersecurity and all. We don't understand these things. Scamming, we don't understand these things. So anything that you have no knowledge and you have no understanding, you will be afraid. Then you say, like how? I'll give you another generic one. We don't understand why bad things happen. Why people get accident. We don't like accident, but it happens. Actually, you can guess why accident happens, but you can't prevent it. You have no knowledge of how to prevent that. So a lot of fear about unknowns. But I'm telling you, the biggest unknown is actually your mind. As long as you do not understand how the mind works, you will feel you have no control over the mind. I don't want to think about it, but I keep thinking about it. I don't want to get angry, but I keep getting angry. I don't want this, I don't want that, but these things happen. They happen because you don't understand your mind. You don't understand how it works. You understand what I'm saying? Agree with me? Sort of lah, huh? Sort of, okay? Now, that was only about ignorance. Now, we talk about delusion. So, some of you may say, oh, semi-deluded. No. We all are. Delusion means wrong views, wrong assumptions. Wrong views, wrong assumptions will end up with wrong conclusions. This part is not easy to understand. I will take a bit more time to explain. You see, we are regular human, right? We're regular people. Who's not regular? Confess. We're all regular, right? If you are regular, naturally, you must look after you, yourself, and your family, and your loved ones. Agree? So this is what I mean when I said we have always been about serving our own self-interest. It's very natural. If people call you selfish, your reply is, you not meh? You not, then you say lah. But if you are and I am, we are 50-50, right? Remember my last week example about 50-50? Have you all increased yourself to 80-20, 60-40? Have you? Not in the way of more for yourself. Huh? Last week you were 50-50. Today you are 70-30, and 70 is about me. Don't do that way. Huh? You should actually go lower down in the right direction. Okay. Now, serving your own interests. Nothing wrong with that. Because that's what being alive and being human means. But what we have to remember in the Dhamma is you always do it in a win-win way. Win-win means serving your own interests while looking after other people's interests. If you are the only one winning in the game, that is not the Buddhist way. We have to find a way of helping others while helping ourselves. That's the correct way. You have to remember that. Every time you find yourself all out to protect your interests and you forgot another's interest, know that you are deviating from the Buddha's teaching. You must remember that. Then you say, but other people deviate. Other people didn't say they're Buddhist, ma. Others, then they say, no, they are also Buddhist. Then got Buddha say they are Buddhist or not? You can claim what you are. But as long as you're not following the teaching in the way that he taught, no, you have deviated. And yes, that person has also deviated. Anything wrong? Yes, you become more unhappy. That's all. The price we pay for deviating is our own unhappiness. Okay? Tell me, true or false, our habit, maximize sense gratification, pleasure, delight, enjoyment. We can delay gratification if only if delay means more gratification. Huh? Agree? Don't like that lah. Must be more audience engagement. Yeah? I'm not falsely accusing you. We are like that. Got fun, don't want fun, meh? No, one pain. No lah, of course we want to enjoy and have fun. And therefore, a certain natural habit is accumulate and hoard, right? What's that? Retail therapy, right? You see, I use the word retail therapy, all the women very happy. And all the men are very unhappy. Actually, no. These days, 我们是男女平等. Men also very happy. You put them in the Wi-Fi shop, they're very happy. The electronic shop. Wi-Fi shop, see lah. Switch lah. Therefore, what is delusional seeing? The fixation with the self and the craving. That is a habit. Fixation with the self. Everything must start from this point. Everything is about us. We can't even help it. Even when you are a Buddhist, even when you are a practitioner, we forget. We forget there is another person with feelings and pain and angst and thoughts and ideas and so on and so forth. We forget. Because we're so caught up in our own thoughts and our own ideas and our own world, because there's no one there other than yourself. So you're so caught up in your own story. And the result is you forgot there is another person there and there and there experiencing pain from your choices. You understand that? So, delusion seeing. Why delusional? My interests must be right. My needs is justified, are justified, but usually our needs a lot. My wants, lagi more justified, lagi more a lot. Yeah? And it's delusional because we think that when we get our way, we will be happy. That's the delusional part. Now, I ask you, you got quarrel with people or not? Got, in front of Buddha cannot anyhow talk. You got angry with people or not? God. Okay. You happy or not? No. But when you are held in the grip of anger, don't you want to fight all the way? Right? Don't you want to fight all the way? Must fight how to lose face, lose hair, lose everything. Cannot, must fight, right? Eh? But after you win, or even if you believe you won, do you feel good? You don't. So can you see the delusion on that part? That if I make my point and I get my way, I will be happy. But the reality always pans out differently. But we never learn. We will still come back for round 2. And round 3. We'll fight until we die. Then next life, fight again. After all, in our world, in our teaching, we can always fight again, one. Never mind. Next life, start again. This time I come equipped. Can you see how delusional that is? And then the other thing about maximizing gains and maximizing... Any of you addicted to, say, video game or... Drama. Very good. I like you. After you see here, okay? Now, let me ask you. After you have watched 1 and 2 and 10 and 20 and 100 and 200, you feel tired now? You feel tired, right? You feel tired. So maximizing gratification ain't gratification, right? But you don't know while you are in the grip of it. So the thing is, now, to recap, I said there are 2 things that cause us to have fear. 1 is ignorance, and 2 is delusional seeing. You agree? 就是咯，就是这样咯。Now, then I went on and on right at the beginning talking about Dhamma is hope, right? I now show you what I mean, okay? Now after we talk until we very, so sad, so sad. Then you say, 这个我知道了，我知道，你知道，你知道 but you never put into application. 你知道了有什么用？ my Mandarin not that bad, you all don't laugh like that. I'm very self-conscious, you know. 哎呀，不活了，不要活了。Okay, 3 parts. Only 3. I already reduced 8 to 3. You don't sit there and complain. Still got so many. Only 3 parts. And if you can remember these 3 parts, if you can remember these 3 parts, in your daily life, every time your defilements, your anger, your agitation, your worry, your fear, every time those come up, you remember these 3 parts. Because if you very carefully incorporate these 3 elements into your daily life, you will find fear reducing. You will find your mind becoming healthier. They are the vitamin P, vitamin S, and vitamin S2. You see, I say it in English, they have all kinds of translation. I just give you the Buddhist way. Panya Sila Samadhi, okay? Vitamin P, Panya. Systematically uprooting wrong views. Then you, over there very cleverly, like what? Earlier on we talked about delusion, remember? Like those. Like those. Meaning to say, if it's everything about you, it's not going to make you really happy. If it's everything about maximizing your pleasure, your gains, your returns, it's not going to make you happy. Those are the very reason why you are experiencing agitation. You want to uproot, you must first keep telling yourself, because our brain, our mind, has developed a habit of thinking in a certain way. You have to change the way of thinking. You don't change your way of thinking, nothing is going to work. You start by telling yourself, not everything is about me. I must spare a thought for another. This is exactly what the Buddha said. Put yourself in another person's shoe. Feel for the person, feel the empathy, learn to be forgiving, learn to let go. You will feel so much better. But in order for you to do that, you have to change your views. Because the view, your view, is literally what I call cognitive baseline. You see an apple, you already have a story there. You see what I'm saying? Okay, apple is a little bit too innocuous. You see a face, someone you like or someone you don't like, your conscious thought hasn't even started thinking, but already the feelings come out. You see the face, Bante, Bante. Happy like a lark, Bante. Yeah? Achan, and you're very happy already. Your brain hasn't even started working, processing, oh, this is Achan blah, 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 and Achan blah, blah, blah did this to me. You haven't even started working. All you see your face, bow. Buddha says, see the Dhamma, see the Buddha. When you see the Dhamma, when you understand the Dhamma, literally the Buddha comes into mind. Pong! Sadhu. I like that. A bit drama, but something like that. No, I'm serious. You think about it, okay? You see, because when you see the Dhamma, this is what it means. When you understand the Dhamma, the joy that cruises through your cells, literally your cellular being, the joy that cruises there, through there, gives you so much joy, gives you so much gratitude, you cannot help but think back to the person who started it all. That's the only time that expression makes sense. Otherwise, for you, see the Dhamma and you think of the Nikayas, books. See Buddha? The mind doesn't work. Cannot correlate paper and statue. Cannot. It's not like that at all. Okay? So, I repeat, repeat broadcast. Repeat broadcast for reinforcement of views, understanding. You must systematically, I use this word deliberately, systematically. It means you cannot one day do, one day don't do. 2 days do, 3 days don't do. Cannot. Systematically means you work out for yourself. Work it out for yourself. What are the key Dhamma points you know necessary to help you change the way you think? And you systematically bring it up every time the anger strikes, every time the agitation starts. You systematically bring it up. Not everything is about me. The mind makes in many ways. And these are words. By the way, I'm teaching all these afterwards, later on. So the details comes later. Okay? And it starts at 1:30, not 2:30. 1:30. So anyhow, systematically uprooting views, wrong views. If you tell me the Dhamma has never worked for me, do you even know what are wrong views? If you say, meaning not Four Noble Truth. Sort of, but no essence there. You need more. When you uproot it correctly, the day that you are successful in rewiring your brain, uprooting means rewiring your brain, the day that happens, you will see for yourself a change. That what used to bug you, what used to upset you, doesn't upset you as much. You know the change has started. The rewiring has started. Okay? Sila. What is Sila? DFC student. What is Sila? Morality. That you call name, I'm sure got someone answer. Morality. What did I say about morality last week? The balance between your interests and other people's interests. How much do you serve yourself over helping others? If it's all about you, it's all about serving yourself, you know you're very far from national average. If it's all about serving others and nothing about serving yourself, if you do that with understanding, perfect. If you do that without understanding, meaning I do it because I'm supposed to do it. Do that without understanding, at some point your mind will rebel. But if you do that with understanding, just take whatever you want, just go ahead. I don't really mind. Just go ahead. When you do that with understanding, it's beautiful. The mind feels very light. It feels very joyous. Okay? Now, here, I say upholding. You see, when our anger starts, when our greed starts, you have to uphold the line. You have to hold the line, in other words. Hold the morality line. Hold your teaching. Hold your practice. We are all human. Meaning to say, we quite jialat for many lives, so we end up here still. We're still human, ma? But also we did very well. That's why we're human, huh? Always positive spin. Yeah, we did very well. Very good, very good. So we're all here, have a chance to sit before the Dhamma, sit before the Buddha, and we learn something, okay? It's a good thing. But we still have anger and agitation and fear and all those things because of what I said earlier on, wrong views, delusion, lack of knowledge, and those things, right? So, when instinctively impatience begin, because you're nice people, so not anger, impatience begin, myth begin. When that happens, you can find your mind going, hold the line. This is where you hold the line. This is where you must hold. You hold the line not by saying, hold, hold, hold. No. You hold the line by thinking. The Buddha said, if I were to hit back, I'm also going to suffer. If I'm going to retaliate, there is a boomerang effect. I want to learn how how to let go. And the Buddha said, this is where whether or not you have the faith in the teaching. The Buddha say, you can bring out compassion, you can bring out understanding, you can bring out generosity, you can hold the line. So that's how it works. Bring out generosity. So when you're very agitated, you see for yourself, why is this person doing it like that? And then you tell yourself, generosity. Generosity, it's okay. Makes the person happy, it's okay. 给你, I give you. Okay, radio? You feel better, the other person feel better. You understand this? This part is important. So the word generosity is not just about giving money to the box. Today I feel very generous. I go out there, put $50 inside. It's not that. That's the easy one. Okay, $50 may be hard, but I don't know, I don't know your threshold, right? I mean, after I set a threshold, like $50, everybody go there, don't put money. But in case they see that it's only $5, it's okay, whatever, it's okay. The hard one, really, really the difficult one, is holding the line when you feel the I is affected, right? That's the hard one. And when that happens, you know, 这边啊，很多脏污。Correct or not? Correct or not? Correct 啊？哎 hello, I'm practicing, you know. 对啊。哎呀 better word 啊。Okay, 污垢啊。Okay. I learned a lot of Chinese here, a lot of Mandarin. I don't think I learned so much when I was in school. You don't laugh with understanding lah, Lord. People self-conscious one. Okay, the third one, 3 parts. Panya is uprooting wrong views. Sila is upholding the moral line, the goodness, the pure mind. Samadhi is anchoring the mind in the present here and now. And then some of you will say, so I meditate. Anchoring. Remember your earlier exercise? I taught you to look at your contact point and scan your mind, Actually, there's a reason why we do all those things. That's anchoring. To anchor, you got to tie the attention to something. Tie it to something. Earlier on, I helped you to tie it to your body. We anchor it to the body. When you are out there and you're dealing with the world, your mind talks a lot, it gets agitated. You can have anchoring moment. You are familiar, how many of you are familiar with Satipatthana Sutta? Satipatthana Sutta. Even the ones who know dare not put up your hand. Why so shy? I know. Are you all familiar with Anapanasati Sutta? Okay. Anapanasati Sutta is mindfulness or meditation. Satipatthana is mindfulness on the 4 foundations of mindfulness. Okay? Actually, what those suttas, it's a method. Many suttas are about method of training. So those suttas help the individual anchor his awareness, his mindful presence, his focus in something. It is not easy to be present and not anchored on anything. Can be done. It can be done. The Buddha, to the best practicing monks of his days, the Arahants and all, they talk about signless concentration. The mind's not anchored on anything, it's present. But the rest of the world, the rest of us, we don't have the capacity to do that yet. We can with training and practice and understanding. But without those, it can't. So therefore, you have to anchor awareness on something. And one of the most effective anchors is the body. So mindfulness on breathing is also anchoring on body. You're using breathing to hold the mind present. Therefore, when you are agitated, you can use one of three methods. Three methods to handle the agitations or the anger or the whatever. Whatever that is upsetting you, fear. Use any of the three methods to hold the mind and keep it on the Dhamma track, on the practice track. One, knowledge. The one I said, uprooting your wrong views and so on and so forth. Two, upholding the Sila line. That means compassion, empathy, build compassion, build empathy, talk to yourself. You say, yeah, but the Dhamma is not about talking. You haven't reached that point yet. When you reach that point, your mind stops talking. You don't have to work so hard to keep it quiet. It is like the 2-year-old can't stop yapping. But the, 60-year-old, you still yapping, very difficult. The mind is very agitated. A day when you are quite quiet and calm and happy, you don't talk so much up here. Otherwise, no holds bar, man, just go on and on and on and on, right? So the same thing. You are using your body, your breathing, the mind, all the parts that the Buddha talked about, you're using these elements to hold mindfulness. So when agitation arises, when anger arises, when you are getting worked up a little, you either use knowledge of the Dhamma to tell yourself, not everything is about me, it's okay, let things be, the mind makes up a lot of stories, it just makes things worse. You can do that, this is with wisdom. Or you can say compassion. Poor fella is suffering. I don't have to add to the suffering and dance along and fight with him. I will just take a step out. Do that. Okay? That's Sila. Or this method, which is watch your breathing. You watch your breathing. You breathe in deeply. 3 times. As deep as you can do. 3 times. Straight away the mind shuts down and goes quiet. It doesn't last. When you don't have practice and you're not doing this consistently, your resetting moment does not last. But do it often enough, then the resetting becomes automatic. Okay? Does this help? I like to share this story. 12:30, right? I like to share this story. We don't pay enough attention to what I call, or what the Buddha called, Buddha's own words, the gradual instruction approach. Buddha's approach. It comprises 6 elements. I put it in Pali because it's so beautiful, but I will explain word for word. You see, the natural mind, the average, natural, regular mind, the instinct of that mind is to protect self. Number 1, self. Buddha, in his teaching, first teaching to the lay people, he told them, try and neutralize that habit. So as a matter of practice, as a matter of regular practice, try and give one thing. I'm not asking you to give away material possession. Giving is giving in all sense of the word. Then he say, oh, I must go donate blood. Not just things. Yourself, your time. How many of you, I can understand if you don't want to put up your hand, how many of you gave your time to another in the matter of, you say, from last Sunday to today? How many of you actually gave time to another? Sit with your parents, sit with your kids, talk to your friends who needs you, come and serve here in BF. 功德无量. Correct, correct, okay. I have a panel of Chinese specialists here. From Chua Chu Kang, from Pong Ho, yeah, panel. Giving time when you are angry, or when you are agitated, or when you have the last piece of your favorite food, letting someone else have it. You know what I mean? Letting someone have it. If you have done none of the above, 你知道哦，你知道怎么做啊? Afterwards, when you go off, you see a box, 你知道怎么做啊? Must start already, must start, must start, okay? But jokes aside, the point is, if you just do something simple, giving up your chair, giving up the space, forgiving, all these are giving. If you said for this week, I actually wanted to play my computer game, but my mother or my father needed me, so I sat with him, talked to him. Sweet. Star, A star. 很乖啊，很好. Okay? You understand that, huh? It is to help you overcome natural instinct. To protect the self, to protect the interest, to be greedy, to be territorial, they're all there. The words are there. And I want to flag out to you that in its highest, purest sense, in your giving, no discrimination, no conditions, no judgment, nothing. You just gave. Because the self sat in a corner and kept quiet. You can only do that when the self, the I and my interest, I, my, me, kept quiet. That is when you are the most chugger, most donor, most giving. Okay? No need to think so hard. Buddhist Dhamma is really not that difficult. You sat here, you're listening, you're understanding, yes? You know what to do. That's a Dhamma. This is the Dhamma track. This is Dhamma. So the second thing he used to teach to lay people, newbies, I call it newbies. Something very fresh about it, newbies. The second thing that he taught was morality. And the point I want to make here is the purer your mind, the more peaceful, the calmer, the lighter, the happier you will be. If you sit down there and went, not true leh, I'm not very happy, you know your own answer based on this line. You need to do a bit more polishing, purifying. You need to do a bit more purifying. Then some people may say, it's very hard. I understand. It means you have a lot of pain. When you sit down there and say, it's very hard to be nice sometimes, it means you have a lot of pain. I don't know what happens in your life. I am sorry that it hurts. You have already lived for however long in that kind of a situation. Why don't you do something different? Try another method. See if it works. You see what I'm saying? So therefore, it is hope. It is hope. What you have, what you are, if it is very painful and you want to change, you can't change where you sit. You can't. This is just logic, practical. You have to do something to change the way you see things and understand things and feel about things, and then you will start to see a difference. Okay? The third thing he talked about, it's always this sequence, Dana, Sila, Saga. It's always this sequence. And it is not done in 5 weeks or 6 weeks. It's done in one sitting. So heaven. Many a times, people will say, oh, this is about the heaven up there. The heaven. Maybe. But if you look at all the other mental, all of the six elements, right? All of them are about mental states. So why is it this one about heaven? So I guess, my guess is actually probably not the heaven, but probably it's about a lightness of mind. You see, if you are giving and you are pure, the mind becomes very light. Light-hearted. The word light-hearted is a description for a happy mind. So the same idea is, if you are positive and you are giving and sharing, very positive, very warm and cuddly, you're very light. Okay? Then you say, why is that heaven? Oh, you know, when you're very light, the mind is very open, you're very embracing, like the sky, all under heaven. Inclusive, in other words, you are inclusive. You are not exclusive. Okay? Round about the point where Buddha talks about heaven, people usually feel quite good and happy. Happier than now, huh? The Buddha giving the talk, everybody very happy. Then he reminds people, do not get carried away. Do not get carried away by your enjoyment. You see, we're very cute. We're quite cute, huh? We're quite cute. When we play and we have fun and we enjoy ourselves, we wish it would never end. Agree? We wish it would never end. You will agree if you are honest with me, lor. Why not? Just have fun. And I go for holiday, and on my last day, I feel so sad. But tomorrow I must go back to office. That happens. So Buddha was not right. Well, I was not wrong. delete. Buddha was not wrong when he said, when he issued a reminder. It was a reminder. It's a gentle reminder. You enjoy, because you have dana, you have sila, you have saga, your mind is light and happy. And he said, let's come back to reality. You can be happy, you can enjoy, but let's not overdo it. Don't overindulge. So up until this point, you're still okay, right? You're still quite okay. You see, one problem with the traditional way of explaining Buddhism, right, Dhamma, is that we say you must let go of things you enjoy, you must, don't do this and don't do that because it gives you pleasure. Then very jialat lah. Become Buddhist and become more agitated, Did the Buddha tell you to do that? He actually said, give. How do you give if you have nothing? You must have something to give, right? So if you have time, give time. If you have possession, share. If you have earning, share. You must have something to give. I cannot, you give me, I give you. What, Christmas present? Recycle present. Cannot, right? So he is actually, or he was not telling you, you must deny yourself of a joyous life or pleasure in life. He's not saying that. Which is why it's called middle path. Don't do that. But don't overdo it. And this one, we can agree with him. We actually don't disagree with him. You also tell your kids, you play a computer game, 2 hours get already, 2 hours too long or not? Yes. Too long, 1 hour? Half hour. Wow, very fierce, very fierce. Mother very fierce. Okay, so you tell your kid, half hour, 25 minutes, I'll come and stare at you. Okay? So you actually cheat him of 5 minutes, but never mind, But we agree with him. And then it comes this part. Learn to have moderation. We don't disagree with him when it's only like this. When it's only like this, you don't disagree, right? Don't overindulge, have some moderation, you'll be fine. We don't disagree with him. Okay? And the final one, it's when he bring up the 4 noble truths. By the way, I want to say this, Have you all read my book? Sutta? All the explanation about the 4 noble truths is in there. It's written in a language even my mother can understand. I meant it literally. I wrote it for her, so she can understand. I forgot print it out for must remember to do that. You will have no problem understanding it. It's moderation in understanding what's Four Noble Truths, okay? Only after Buddha had discerned that the listener's mind was ready, receptive, free from hindrance, eager and trustful, will he expound the Four Noble Truths. This is important. You don't teach Dhamma until people are ready to hear. This is what it means. So earlier on, the first 5 parts was not something new to the world. It's sensible advice. Be good, take care of others, be nice, don't hurt people, help others. These are all sensible advice. Practical, reasonable advice. And you enjoy yourself, but don't overdo it. Very practical advice. Is the mother saying, you can go out and play, but 7 o'clock I want you back. You play from morning, 7 o'clock I want you back. So practical. Then everyone is a bit receptive. They're all ready to hear. It's when he comes in with the Four Noble Truths. And I tell you a story. Wait, let me see whether it's... I just say this line first. Whether or not you are ready to hear. Remind me to tell you a story when I'm done with the next slide. Okay? I cannot tell the story now. I'll tell it after. Alright? The necessary condition for people to be able to hear the Dhamma. So don't go home and start teaching your kids. They are not ready to hear. They are not ready and receptive. They are not free from hindrances. They want to go play computer game. You want to, boy, come sit here, girl. I explain to you Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path. Every time they see the word Buddha, they say, Jala, they all run away. How like that? You are the very reason why we are losing our youths. Cannot. You must let them play, enjoy, let them understand what is enjoyment and fun and all, but teach them moderation, know when to call a limit. You teach them this, you are actually already helping them to know how to safeguard their mental state, their mental balance. You teach them moderation, up to that point, you're already helping them to maintain mental balance. And those are sensible advice, okay? And then, ready and receptive means the kid is not going to sit down there saying, I know better. Ami, you don't understand me, Ami. Like that, finish. Cannot. They have to want to hear. Mommy, every month, every week, you go down to this BF. Why? And then your reply, because it brings me joy and gives me. Why? Why does it do that? They are ready and receptive. They want to know what you're up to. Then you can talk to them, okay? Free from hindrance means he's not distracted, he's not sleepy, he's not hungry. His mind is with you. He's feeling love for you, he's with you. It's important. Did you know that in the time of the Buddha, there was this man who lost his cow? Buffalo, if you like. I'm not sure which one. But that 4-legged animal was away. I think cow. Maybe he's an Angmo writer, it's a cow. Well, anyhow, this poor man went around looking for his cow the whole day. And then he wanted to go for Dhamma talk. So he ran, he found the cow, and then he went for the Dhamma talk. He said before the Buddha looked at him, have you eaten? He asked. And the guy went, no. Are you hungry? Yeah. He fed him first. He shared with him alms food. Fed him first. Then he started talking. So rest assured, I won't keep you away from your lunch. Okay? Now, comes the story. All those conditions must be ready, and then people are ready to hear. Now I tell you the story. The reason why we learn of this method, this gradual instruction method, is because after the Buddha taught that to yasa, to father, to mother, to wife, to friends, they all entered the stream. These are no different from you. The only difference is it was delivered by the Buddha himself. But it's no different from you. You are equally capable of entering that stream. You just need to bear in mind for yourself what are the criteria. How did they do it? There are the elements, you cannot forget those elements. And most of those elements are not difficult. Element 1, giving. Element 2, purity of the mind. In other words, just these two, you're talking about curbing your own selfish instincts, putting aside yourself. The purity of the mind requires that you vacuum your defilements. Vacuum it. The anger, the agitation, the laziness, vacuum it. Then you say, very hard. You want to enter stream there. What? Buy ticket, hop on the ship or boat or canoe. You can row your way. Of course, it requires work. But what does it require? It doesn't require IQ. So you cannot tell me, I don't have education, cannot. It doesn't require IQ. And you say, time. 7 7-year-old, he's Arahant, not just enter stream. It is not difficult. It's whether or not you are prepared to let your defilements go. This is the part that says, avijja. One of the hard things to let go is ignorance. What is this ignorance? Is the willingness to let your defilements go. All of them. But we hang on to them. We hang on to all these defilements like they're medals on our chest like that. By late. Some of us so deluded, we want the world to know we got very hot temper. Wow, you all heard I hot temper? Wow, good. By late. We don't want people to know we are greedy, but we don't mind if people know we are hot-tempered. You know, there are people like that. Isn't it? Your boss, why your boss throw book at you? Because he's hot-tempered. But why does he do that? Well, he wants the world to know that he can throw book at you. Like that, oh? Huh? Or some people say, they 看拿得起放得下 without care for another's feelings leh. Cavalier leh. 拿得起放得下 Hello, what is that? That's not purity of mind. The mind's not pure. Okay? 拿得起放不下 leh? Also not pure. 不要拿 Who asked you to 拿 Okay, remember, okay? 拿得起放得下 拿得起放不下 all wrong. 不要拿 correct. Okay? Happy ending. Happy ending, very good, huh? When those few, the 6 of them are not difficult. When those click with you, you may have that unwavering faith, i.e. enter the stream. But even if you don't, even if it doesn't change you in those fundamental ways, that's a lecture for another day. Even if it doesn't change you for the fundamental ways, you can do all those things, you are still a happier person. You will still be lighter. You will still feel more joyous. It's just like that. Those are conditions of the mind. You remember the chicken, the hen and the egg analogy that I used before? Wow, you're new group. I never attended my talk before, is it? Huh? Okay, I repeat this cute little story. This one is about enlightenment, okay? And Buddha was trying to explain that the conditions of enlightenment requires conditions of the mind. Conditions. You set the conditions in place, enlightenment will happen. You don't have to say, now may I be enlightened. You don't have to. You don't have to raise your hand and ask for permission. No need. Conditions are in place, it will happen. Okay? So he used the analogy of the hen hatching eggs. When the hen sits on the egg and incubate, of course the Buddha didn't use the word incubate, but let's say there's an embryo. All the conditions are in place. Enough warmth, enough days, embryo in place, chicken will hatch. So he used the analogy, which I thought was really beautiful. He said, the hen doesn't say, can you come out already? Please, come out, come out. Pok, 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 come out. The hen doesn't have to do that. When the time comes, the eggs will hatch. That's all. Now, in a modern context, of course, you can use a woman delivering birth, When the conditions come, baby will come out. Sooner or later, don't have to come out, come out, come out. That's just craving. Sooner rather than later, it's just craving. It will come out. It's nature. Nature's way. Okay? So, unwavering faith in the triple gem, when you understand and you incorporate the elements into your life, you will feel happier and lighter. You don't have to will it. You will eventually understand Dhamma deeply. You don't have to fret. Why people got it, I still can't. It will happen. The conditions are right. Your life will feel meaningful. You see, this is also condition. Let me ask you. Imagine a life full of joy, full of love, full of fun. Meaningful or not? Trick question. I must think very hard. This one, very tricky one. A lot of trick question. Hello, simple, straightforward question. Joyous, happy, people love you, you love people. Meaningful or not? Yes. Alive, nobody wants you. You want nobody because nobody wants you. 你不要我，不要你先. That kind of attitude, so angry, so agitated, you're all alone. Meaningful or not? No. For sure. If you are joyous, now, then I flip it around, I ask you this. You are so grouchy. People see you already know it's sour. You tell me, you want to sit next to the person or not? No, right? I mean, who's so chaga, really? Today I practice chaga. I find the most sour face. Voila, I will sit next to you. Do you do that? 你还没有那个 standard 啦。可以的，不过不用啦，不用 ，no need. Not quite that standard yet, right? I mean, really, I'll go to BF and enjoy myself, have fun, but I have to find the sourest face to sit next to the sourest face, most sour face. So just imagine, if your face is sour, that's the reason why, lor. Everybody let you have the seat. Okay? And above all, I call it light at the end of the samsaric tunnel. We have gone through in this tunnel for a long, long time. There is this beautiful poem which the Buddha himself said, Aneka jati samsarang, countless life wandering in samsara, looking for the builder of the house. Dukkha jati punang. Life is painful. Being born again and again is painful, actually. That's the correct translation. Delete. That's the correct translation. Being born again. Jati is birth. Punang, again and again. Dukkha. Why? Why did the Buddha say it like this? Because when you are born, you will die. When you are born, you will see people die. When you are born, not just your enemies die, your loved ones die. We don't think about that day, but that day will come. You see? And then like that, lor. Now you can understand. You just think of the death of your loved ones and yourself, and you will see dukkha jati punang. Hard, painful indeed, is to be reborn again and again. The moment you're born, you must send somebody off. That's just life. Okay? Dhamma is not that difficult. You have 6 parts. Memorize them. Memorize them. Memorize them so that they become a part of your life. So we start again. Dana, Sila. In English, giving, morality, heaven. Danger of sensual gratification and pleasure. Renunciation, Four Noble Truths. You just remember it like this first. Okay? Today we do it in English. The next time we meet, we do it in Pali. The next time we meet, you are all floating Arya. Okay? Focus on the baby steps. Dana, Sila. Stay on course. Moderation, contentment. Moderation, contentment at the middle path. Okay? Now, will you take picture? I want to flip the page. Can Oh, change already. Cannot change back. Change back. See, I don't know how to change back. Aha. Okay, take picture quickly. Done? Okay. I move. No quick fix. The reason is because you are dealing with your mind, your brain. Your brain has settled into a certain way. You want to change, you have to tweak the wires, or you have to shift the wires, you change the wires. But it can be done for everyone, anyone. It can be done. The question is, will you do it, and will you do it systematically, consistently? As I said, one day you kind and gentle, the next day you bite at everybody. That's not systematic. That's systematic, unsystematic. Systematically unsystematic. And the reward for you, you can do that. I can guarantee you, in daily life, you're fine. But more importantly, is when it comes to fear that used to grip you, you learn it's not so bad. Your mind is not so disturbed. Otherwise, the world is terrible, you know. I mean, you walk under the HDB flat, you worry about some thick gore drop on your head. Then plop, because you didn't see the floor. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm going to, these are, do we keep this on? Or just move it on? Okay, we've reached the end of the slides. These are the books out there, hard copy. And we are done with the Dhamma talk. I'm going to request of all of you, I give you something now, give me back something, okay? I'm going to request for all of you, for the kindness and the joy that you have today, help me transfer merits to my teacher who has passed on last week, or this week. Bante Patigama Nyanarama, principal of Mangala Vihara, Buddhist Pali University, Buddhist Pali College. He passed away last Wednesday. Tuesday morning. And he was a great teacher. He's really, really superb human person, human being. And I'd like to dedicate this talk to him. Without him, there is no me sitting here. So I'd like to dedicate this talk. I'd like all of you to join me in thanking him.
And in addition to that,